What if the dead could speak? Not with voices, but through shadows, curses, and crumbling stone. Beneath the burning sun of Egypt, there is a valley carved by time and mystery. A place where kings were buried, but never silenced. For centuries, the Valley of the Kings has whispered secrets. Some too strange to believe, some too dangerous to ignore. But tonight, we listen. Tonight, we follow the whispering tombs. Welcome to Whispers from the Past. The Valley of the Kings Wadi al-Muluk lies hidden against the golden cliffs along the Nile's west bank. Across from what was once Thebes. Here, far from the gaze of the living, the pharaohs of Egypt's new kingdom buried their dead not in pyramids, but beneath the earth. Between 1539 and 1075 BCE, over 60 tombs were carved into this dry and desolate valley. Why? What? Because power invites envy, and tombs, no matter how sacred, invite thieves. The pharaohs hoped that by hiding their graves, they could sleep undisturbed. But they weren't just buried with gold, they were buried with spells, symbols, secrets. Each tomb was a doorway to the afterlife and a fortress against intruders. But did it work? Or did the dead find other ways to protect themselves? To the ancient Egyptians, death was not the end. It was a journey. Long, perilous, sacred. The tomb wasn't just a resting place. It was a portal. And inside, walls were painted with spells from the Book of the Dead, guiding the king's soul through darkness, past demons, fire legs, and gates guarded by serpents. But these chambers weren't only designed to protect the king's soul, they were also meant to frighten those who dared disturb him. Inscriptions warned of divine punishment. Some said intruders would be devoured by crocodiles or struck by scorpions in the afterlife. Others were even more direct. A death shall come on swift wings to him who disturbs the king's rest. It sounded like poetry. Until 1922, Howard Carter had spent years in the valley, searching. Many believed there was nothing left to find. But he didn't give up, and then, buried beneath rubble and debris, he found Tomb KV62, the tomb of a young pharaoh, Tutankhamun. It was untouched, sealed, unopened, for over 3,000 years. When Carter peered through a small hole and held up a candle, he wrote, "At first I could see nothing, the hot air escaping from the chamber causing the candle flame to flicker. But presently, as my eyes grew accustomed to the light, details of the room within emerged slowly from the mist. Strange animals, statues, and gold. Everywhere the glint of gold. The world was mesmerized. But then something strange happened. Lord Carnarvon, Carter's patron who had funded the expedition, died shortly after the tomb was opened. An infected mosquito bite on his face, worsened by a shaving cut. He was 56. The lights in Cairo are said to have flickered at the moment of his death. Back in England, his dog howled and fell dead. Coincidence. Cut to headlines. A pharaoh's curse strikes again. Over the next few years, people connected to the tomb's discovery began to die. Bizarre, sudden, unexplained. A radiologist who x-rayed the mummy, dead within months. A visitor to the tomb shot himself. A financial backer died of fever the day after visiting the site. Some say the curse was real, others, superstition, media frenzy, or mold inside the tomb. But deep beneath the earth, in the darkness of those ancient halls, a chilling thought remains. What if these tombs weren't just sealed with stone? What if they were sealed with vengeance? We once thought we had uncovered all the secrets of the Valley of the Kings. But the desert keeps its silence well. Not all tombs were plundered. Not all chambers were found. Some were hidden, not just by time, but by design. Take KV62, the tomb of Tutankhamun. It was modest, rushed, too small for a king, and yet it was untouched until Carter. Until Carter. But in 2015, something strange happened. Radar scans of the tomb's walls revealed what could be another hidden chamber. Right behind the wall of Tutankhamun's burial chamber. Cut to slow zoom on radar imagery. Outline of hidden room. Archaeologist Nicholas Reeves proposed a stunning theory. that behind that wall might lie the tomb of Queen Nefertiti, one of ancient Egypt's most powerful and mysterious women. Her beauty is legendary, her burial unknown. If true, this hidden room could be the most important discovery since Tutankhamun. But it's not the only secret the valley has held. Cut to wide shot of rubble-filled entrance. Inus KV5 for centuries. KV5 lay buried and ignored. No one knew what was inside. When excavated in the 1990s, it stunned archaeologists. A massive tomb with more than 120 chambers stretching underground like a labyrinth. It belonged to Ramesses II, also known as Ramesses the Great, one of Egypt's mightiest pharaohs. But this wasn't his tomb. It was the final resting place for his sons, many of whom died young. Why so many chambers? Why so many early deaths? Even now, KW5 isn't fully mapped. Tunnels extend further than anyone predicted, and some chambers remained sealed, unexplored. Could there be more royal children entombed there, or something else entirely? The Valley of the Kings isn't just a burial site. It's a puzzle, a maze of stone, sand, and silence. And somewhere beneath those cliffs, more chambers may still wait in darkness. Tutankhamun, the boy king, died young. Just 18 or 19. No great battles, no monumental temples. Yet today, he is the most famous pharaoh in the world. Why? Because his tomb, KV62, was found intact. A miracle in a valley, long stripped by tomb robbers. But what most people don't realize is something wasn't right. Tutankhamun's tomb is too small for a king. The artwork on the walls, rushed, the paint, still wet when sealed, and many of the treasures, clearly repurposed, some even bearing other names, scratched out. Was his death unexpected? Was Egypt unprepared? Or was there another reason? KV62 is laid out strangely. Some scholars believe it was originally meant for a queen, maybe even Nefertiti. And remember that radar scan from 2015? It hints at a chamber, still sealed, still hidden. What lies behind that wall? More treasure? Nefertiti herself? Or something the ancients wanted to remain buried? Ain't Tutankhamun's death is a mystery. Was it illness? An infected leg? A chariot crash? His body shows signs of a broken leg, severe bone disease, and even missing ribs, some of which were removed after death during a botched embalming. But why the rush? Why hide his tomb? Was he murdered? Was someone else buried with him? Nearly a century after its discovery, KV62 still won't give up all its secrets. Some tombs whisper, but this one, guards its silence. The Valley of the Kings was meant to be eternal, a fortress of silence, a land where time itself would bow before the dead. But even silence speaks, from the stolen names beneath layers of paint, to the chambers that lead nowhere, or perhaps everywhere, to the boy king buried in haste, surrounded by gold not meant for him. The whispers remain. Archaeologists still dig, scanners still scan. Theories rise and fall like sand dunes, but the valley keeps its rhythm. Dry winds, stone cliffs, and shadows that stretch across centuries. And perhaps that is Egypt's final magic, to remind us that even when all seems uncovered, there is always something left beneath. A sealed door, a missing piece, a question waiting. If the dead could speak, what would they say? Maybe. Thank you for listening to the past, because it never stopped speaking.